talk about something that haunts pretty much every creator, publisher, and business out there: algorithmic silencing. You know that sinking feeling when you pour hours into a piece of content and it just vanishes? Today, we're going to break down exactly how and why that happens.
You know the feeling, right? You hit publish, you wait, and you get crickets. The engagement you were expecting just isn't there, and you're sitting there wondering, is anyone even seeing this? If you've ever felt like you're just shouting into an empty room online, believe me, you are not alone.
And look, this isn't just about hurt feelings or vanity metrics. This is a big deal. A recent study from Pew Research found that a staggering 53% of US adults get their news from social media. So, when these platforms can just turn down the volume on certain content, it doesn't just mess with a creator's stats, it actually shapes public conversation.
So what is this invisible barrier that's standing between you and the audience you work so hard to build? We hear the term shadow banning thrown around all the time, but let's really get into what it actually means for your content.
Here's the textbook definition. But the most important part of this whole thing, the part that's so frustrating, is that phrase, without the person knowing. Your content isn't gone, it's still technically public. It's just been quietly buried by the platform's algorithm, which makes it pretty much invisible to your followers, and crucially, to any new audience.
I love this metaphor because it's perfect. A normal ban, that's a shutoff button. Lights out, game over. But shadow banning is so much more subtle. It's like the platform is slowly, quietly turning a dimmer switch on your content until almost no one can see it. Your posts might disappear from hashtag feeds or search results, even though they're technically still live.
And that difference is everything. With a hard ban, you know what's up. You got an email, your account is blocked, it's obvious. A shadow ban, though, it's silent. You get zero notification, your account looks perfectly fine to you, but its reach has been secretly crippled. It's the not knowing that drives people crazy.
So how can you even tell if this is happening to you? Well, there's no official dashboard for it, but there are some classic warning signs. You'll see a sudden, totally unexplainable drop in your numbers. People who follow you will start saying, "Hey, I'm not seeing your posts anymore." And you might get those really vague monetization flags. If you're checking off a few of these boxes, yeah, you might be getting algorithmically silenced. So, if this is happening, what's causing it? Well, it's almost never a human making a decision. Most of the time, it's an automated system that flags something in your content. So let's take a look at the most common algorithmic triggers. This table here breaks it down really well. You use a little bit of copyrighted music, bam! An automated system like Content ID mutes your audio and just kills your reach. You talk about sensitive topics, you might get an age restriction, which pulls your video right out of the recommendation feeds. Heck, even your keywords and metadata can get your content downranked if the algorithm flags them. These systems are constantly scanning everything, often without any human ever looking at it.
Now, a drop in views might seem like it's just a number on a screen, but when your content is your business, becoming invisible has very real, very tangible consequences. This isn't about ego, we're talking about economics.
Here's the bottom line. When your reach gets throttled, you lose access to your audience. That means less watch time, fewer chances to be discovered, and a direct hit to your ad or your sponsorship income. A single one of these visibility flags can make your revenue stream completely unpredictable.
And beyond the numbers, there's your reputation. Just imagine this. A false flag marks your content as limited, right in the middle of a huge brand campaign. Now, appeals take time, and while you're waiting, your partners are seeing underperforming content, and your audience just thinks you're not posting as much. Over time, that kind of silence can really erode the trust you've worked so hard to build. But maybe the single biggest risk of all is the total lack of ownership. When you build your entire business on a free social platform, you are essentially renting your audience. You don't own the data, you don't control the user experience, and you sure don't control the algorithm that decides who gets to see your work. You're building your beautiful house on borrowed land. Okay, so we've laid out the problem, and it's a little scary. But now, let's talk about the solution. This isn't about giving up on social platforms, not at all. It's about building a smarter, more resilient strategy to take back control of your audience and your business. So here are 4 proactive steps you can take to protect yourself. First, keep your metadata, your titles and descriptions, clean and factual to avoid getting misclassified by an algorithm. Second, get your music licensing sorted out. Use royalty-free tracks. Keep the receipts. Third, pre-screen your own content. Be honest about anything that might trigger an age restriction. And finally, have an appeal playbook ready to go. Document everything so you are prepared to fight a flag the moment it happens.
But at the end of the day, the smartest way to stay visible is to diversify. You can't build your entire house on just one platform. Think about it like this. Use social media for the trailers, for the teasers, to drive discovery, but always, always direct your audience back to a home base, a platform where you have total control.
And that's the real advantage of professional hosting. It's like building on land that you actually own. There's no risk of some mysterious algorithm suppressing you. You get total control over your branding, your monetization, you own your audience data, and you get global delivery without some black box deciding to throttle you. This is the foundation of a resilient creator business.
So I'll leave you with this one question to really think about. After everything we've talked about, from that dimmer switch of shadow banding to the power of owning your own distribution, you really have to ask yourself, is your audience truly yours, or are you just renting it from an algorithm that could change its mind at any moment? The answer to that question is going to define the future of your content.